Hey, yo, man, what time is it?
You know what time it is, man.
2 a.m.?
Yeah, man.
Man, you know what?
What's that?
It's 8:46, bro.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, you know what time that is.
Yeah, man.
Nappy head,
Yo,
Funk Army.
what's up?
Stand up. Get it live, y'all.
Yo, Mo, drop that beat.
You know what we gotta do.
Yeah, man.
We bringing this funk just for you. Repeat after me. Say, you don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best,
You don't.
just gotta outlast the rest.
No, you don't.
You don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. I'ma say that again for you. United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Here we go, y'all. Now let me tell you a little story about United We Stand. It says we're gonna funk across this funkless land. We gon' stand up and let our voices be heard. We ain't gonna let nobody stop us from spreading the spiritual word. The ruthless corporate greedy don't give a damn about the needy. We need everybody in the house to join us on this one, all right? Y'all say, united we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Are y'all out there? You feeling me? United we stand, come on, y'all. Divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Yeah. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. United we stand, divided we fall. Funkin' with the poor people most of all, as they poison our mind with food control. Third eye is wise, sacrifice. Wake up and see what they doing to you and me. Keeping a separate product of Illuminati, like the jail cell did my boss John Gotti. Dirty politics and high-priced prostitution reside in all the important positions. Just look around at the injustice in the world. Some forced to live in a deplorable conditions. Watch us, watch what we do. This rap is coming up just for you. So sit back, relax, check out our funk. Cause the nappy head funk army always bumping in your drum. Twitter, tweet, the TikTok. The ruthless corporate greedies don't give a damn about the needies. A movement, genocide and homicide is happening all around the world.
What up? Promise me this, promise me that. All the fat cats stabbing us in the back. What up? Welcome to Funk from the Front Seat here on 9 on the Grind TV and Zach Robinson YouTube. We got a real special guest for you today. One of our recurring guests, one of my favorite people, my brother, my funk mentor, producer, and all this good stuff, man. And, you know, we go way, way back also. You know, he was an integral part of the Nappy Funk Army in New York when we was pumping that. But, you know, before I tell you that, I just want to give a shout out to any birthdays out there. You know, I'm wearing my Bootsy glasses because Bootsy, yabba dabba dooza. I know your birthday's on Thursday, Bubba. So I'm going to give you an early shout out. And mad shouts out to everybody watching around the world. Brenda up in Ohio, hope you feel better. Joan, I know you watching. I hope you feel better. If you got birthdays or anniversaries, know that we care out there. And if you have somebody transition out, it's all good because they're in the higher spirit, higher place. We hurt for the pain down here, but we got to take their love and keep it going, man. So this brother today, Kevin Harrington, man, we're gonna be dropping some stuff. We got a link to his new clothing line that he's got, and his merch. And we're gonna be talking to this brother a little bit about how to self-promote, and also, man, how to own your brand, and things like that, because he has his own company, KHX Experiment, and he's working on that. And we're gonna show you a few of his videos. All right, so y'all check this out. Without further ado, my guy from Queens, by way of Philly, Mr. Kevin Harrington is in the front seat today.
Yo.
What up, man?
What's good, man? How you been?
I'm all right, man. Everything is beautiful, man.
Good,
How you feeling?
It's all good, man.
Good. Thank you for joining us today, man. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure to be here.
Hey, man, it's all good, bro. I gotta have you on every 8 weeks. I gotta make sure I touch base. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see your face.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So how's the family doing and everything?
Everybody's good, man. First. Can't complain. Everybody's good. How about on your end?
Good. Yeah, everything is everything down here. Just trying to deal with this thing one day at a time, man. We got a lot to chop up today. We're going to get into some things, man. But before we do, I just want to give a shout out to somebody that shouted you out on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it, but Jeff gave you a shout out. Jeff Roberson.
Oh, yeah. How's he doing, man? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I figured I'll let you know because I know you're very busy. But
blessings to him, man, on what he's doing.
My God. Yeah. He's
nice.
Yeah. See, and here's the thing, though. Like him and I already been talking about another project between the three of us, too. So we got that. Yeah, man. We got that slated for 2024. Trust me.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm already like in 2024, bro. Yeah, we got to go. Yeah. But yeah, man, this music thing, man, that we do, you've been doing it for a long time. So for my audience, my first time is that, don't really know who you are and, it's not familiar with all the things that you've done. Give us a little bit of a background on how you came up, where you came from, and how you got into this whole thing, man.
Well, I'm from Jamaica, Queens, Funky for Jamaica. I'm sure everybody knows that song. I come from a church background, church family. I got into drums because I had an uncle in Georgia. I lived in Georgia for a year when I was in first grade, and he was on the drum line. So when I was starting first grade, he was actually graduating high school. So I got to see him play his senior year and watching practice and stuff like that. So that piqued my interest in drums. But it was years later until I got started because my younger uncle, his brother, got me into all the sports. So that kind of took the forefront. And when I got back to Queens, I had two drummers on my block. Richard Ruiz, who I would have to say is probably my mentor, and a drummer, Richard Currents, who was a little older. He was already on the pro level. So there was a band. He came out of Queens, Creative Funk.
Yeah.
They had a big record called Ready Made Family, which is like a classic.
Yeah. Everybody knew them.
Yeah. So, in Queens, we had nothing but bands. Every block had a band, maybe two. So, that's what got me started. I wanted to play drums. I come from a household of singers. I was the only one that played the instrument.
Right.
And drums at that, which ain't, quiet.
Nothing quiet, right?
Nothing quiet. But through years of that, the same getting in a band with two of my friends. One was Richard's brother, Victor, and a bass player friend of mine, Ronnie Harrison, who was the drummer himself. But we decided I was gonna play drums and he learned to play bass because we
Okay.
needed a bass player.
Right.
You know, pat on the back to him. He just said, "Oh,
Right.
okay, we need a bass player. All right, I'll learn." You
Ah,
know, and yeah, if you get a chance, check his episode out on my podcast.
I will. I will.
Yeah, it was a good one. And from there, man, just wanting to do it. Like I said, Rich was probably my biggest influence. I could, go sit and watch him play. One of the more important things he taught me was who to listen to. So,
Yeah.
I'm coming up, I'm listening to the radio. There's nothing wrong with that because that's where the pocket end came from.
That's right.
Listening, Funky George, name escapes me, the drummer from New Birth, Diamond from Ohio Players, just trying to mimic what was on the radio. And then Rich gave me my first Billy Cobham album, and that changed everything.
Copy.
That changed everything. Billy Cobham was either you want to be a drummer or you don't, because just the attempt at, you're like, oh, most people go, well, forget it. If I can't sound like that, then leave it alone. But the fact that Rich was playing like that,
Yeah.
he was playing all that Cobham stuff. So I was like,
I know, right? That's fascinating all the time.
Right,
That's what's
right.
doing it.
He's like, I want to do that. And he turned me on Mile High Fish New Orchestra. Mind you, I'm 12.
Right.
So Mile High Fish, that took me even in a deeper place. I said, Mile High Fish, good Lord. And this was with Cobham when the first draft. Then even in Narada later on when they got bigger. And just so much, man. Return to Forever. All the groups.
Mm-hmm.
And it just became that. Besides starting to play in local bands around the way, we had a lot of cats. I think I met Omar at 15. Omar Hakeem playing at they was having a thing in this Ajax Park with a bunch of bands.
Right.
He came and introduced himself to me. I had heard of him, but I had never met him. I used to see Marcus Miller playing at block parties, and once I got in this band with Warren McCrae, who was the MD for Tina Turner.
Yeah.
Right. So he comes from the other side of Jamaica, and that's where Bernard Wright and all of them were.
Yeah.
All them cats, and yeah, man, it was a great time, man.
Queens was a hotbed. We used to on Long Island be afraid. I wasn't, but most people was afraid to go to Queens because they just felt like the musicians were just more superior. And I used to try to tell them, well, yeah, that could be true too, but also I think they're just exposed to more urban. Whereas Long Island, it was more country. It was more like rock, Zeppelin, and Edgar Winter, and that's where right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So with us out there discovering our mother's finest roots and stuff like that first, and then we brought that vibe to the city. But I was always anxious to go. I was fortunate because my dad was a minister. So in Long Island, we used to go to church, Central Islip. We used to go to Brooklyn, Queens, and everything. When you go somewhere else, you just want to just lay in the cut and see what the musicians are doing. Even as a kid, bro. And I said oh man, these guys are way much better than my church.
Yeah,
because I was playing Herbie Hancock in church, and we were playing the straight four,
My father wasn't a minister yet at that time, but later on he became one. But we was church hopping all the time.
Excuse me one second.
Yeah.
Put on my light. Sorry.
We was church hopping all the time, so
yeah.
I'd always pay attention to. It's funny though, in church I paid more attention to who was playing keyboard than I did the drummers.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah.
By the time I started playing in church, because I had an aunt, my Aunt Carrie, rest in peace. She was a member of what they call it, one of James Cleveland's choirs.
God,
I forgot the name of them now. Triborough Mass.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So they had got nominated for a Grammy. She got to go out to the Grammys back then, early '80s, I believe. And so I was playing. We was in the church, and I would play for her.
Right.
Now, at that time, I'm trying to find somebody who knows who Chick Corea and them are.
Right.
So I came across one keyboard player that came to church who knew who Chick was. And that was it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
stuff that I was, wanted to play there, they had no idea what I was talking about. So
Yeah.
that's why I look at church now and go, well, now finally.
Yes, right, exactly. We was doing that. I tell these young guys, listen, you guys are doing fusion. I was like, we was funking fusion hard
Right.
before it became a thing, and it kind of got not spurned, but it was good. But the elders didn't really feel it. I can't say they didn't like it.
You wasn't
They
playing
didn't
that
feel
in
it.
church, man.
Yeah,
You was gonna
they
get the
didn't
boot.
feel it.
Like, what is that? Beat it.
Yep. Yeah, right. Because whenever I used to try to deviate, they used to look at me like, "Don't you even dare!"
Yeah, it was all 2-4 at 180.
Right. Right. Whenever I used to even think about deviating, they would look back at me because they knew he's going to do some crazy stuff.
And it's crazy.
They would be
man.
like,
in church I was playing that, man, they didn't even have a hi-hat. So, they ain't care nothing about the drums, man. No, you see something on the side of the street, so I'm like, yeah, grab that. So they're gonna spend the money in the organ.
Yes.
I met Skip Anderson because when the church was looking for a Hammond EB3, and so my aunt told me to look for one, right? So I'm looking in the voice and I find one in the back. And so the price is right. We go to get it at we was on 30th Street, of course. What was the studio that was downstairs? I can't remember what it was. It was one of the popular studios. Anyway, we go to get it. We meet it, and it's Skip Anderson from at the time he was playing with Lenny White,
right,
for 29. And for anybody knows, he went on to play with Luther.
Yeah.
He wrote the tune that Luther sang with the dancer. Man, my recall's getting bad, man. The dancer, you know what song I'm talking about?
Oh, with Luther Vandross?
Luther and the Hines brother.
Gregory,
right? That tune, right?
Yeah, okay. For I think that was a movie thing too.
Yeah, so that was a popular song. Nothing Better Than Love or whatever the name tune was. Somebody knows.
Right.
Yeah, so I got to talking to him, and we end up dropping him at Lenny's house because at that time Lenny was living in Laurelton. And just from that, but again, I'm like, so y'all pay that much for an organ, and y'all don't even buy a drum stool, man.
I know. Sit in the chair.
I'm sitting in the chair the whole time. That's why when I met what's his name when he was playing in that straight back chair. What's the drummer, Ainsley?
Ainsley, yeah.
I said he's straight out the storefront church with that, baby.
Yes, the chair. I played in the chair for years.
Yeah.
I couldn't sit on a drum stool in church. It ruined me.
Man, that was some funny times, man.
I remember that with Ainsley. Yeah, he was sitting in the chair.
As soon as I saw that, man, I said he's straight out the
Let me ask you something. With the church cats now doing all the stuff they do, right? Do you think they have as much feeling and soul with giving of the music, or are they more about chops?
Of course, I'm gonna go by what I see.
Yeah.
And the majority of them is chop bass, but you have Corey Henry and certain other players that play the music, and the soul, but majority of it is chops, and they got that. They got the chops, but the I would say the spiritual part of it is missing.
Yeah, there is, because I know when I listen, I try to listen.
Connection is missing.
Yes, and see, I try to listen to as much contemporary music as I can, especially in the gospel thing, since we all came up in it, right? And I hear some really nice stuff. A lot of it is kind of like jazz. A lot of it KHX. I hear that out there too. You know what I'm saying? So, and they putting that spiritual feel to it. A lot of ladies are doing a lot of nice things or whatever. So I appreciate it all. But then sometimes I'm listening to something and it'll just be like a straight thing from like 10 minutes long of just like, and I miss the message.
Yeah.
You know, I miss
Yeah,
the
there's
message.
no sensitivity, there's no dynamics. To me, it's the they're not playing with the choirs.
Yeah.
They're just playing loud and doing their thing. And
Yeah.
to me,
Yes.
like I
Yes.
don't hear the connection.
Yes.
A
Yes.
lot of it, and it
Yes.
depends on who you're listening to, but I see that, and
Yeah.
it's like everybody's going for theirs,
Yeah.
look at me, and the choir just be screaming,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
but
And that's what I was looking for. That word you just
Mhm.
said, the connection between band and choir.
My thing that I hear with a lot of them, I was like, so nobody cares anything about dynamics about, it's like y'all do realize they're trying to sing.
Right.
And you're playing as hard as you can.
Yes. And to me, you're working way too hard because the music will carry you. And I try to tell young bucks, like pull the reins back in,
That's the thing, but I think overall, it's become that because even the choir accepts that if it's not sounding loud, then they don't feel like they're doing anything. If it's not loud and just, at times it sounds chaotic to me. That's just it's chaotic. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
I feel the same way. That's why I always try to, offer, suggestions and advice to a lot of people I see that's doing it like that because, I don't have to be in the physical building, but I do still have my ears,
Yeah. And even that is a certain approach.
Yeah.
To talk to them, I don't knock them for what they're doing. It's like, yo, this y'all era. Y'all do what y'all gonna do, but there's always an option, bro. And so just hear me out.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to change. I'm just giving you maybe, try that and just see how you like it. If you don't, then you don't do it. But have an option. Don't always be on 10.
Yeah. Right.
Because then you got nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go, man. And if you start out on 10, best believe by the time you're into like the second song, the band's ears are going to be shot on stage.
And then not understand why a cat who plays pocket gets to work.
Yeah. Yep.
They looking for people to play behind them, not on top of them.
That's right. That's right.
That's
right.
And there's groups, again, like you said, we come out the fusion era. That was your job playing in those units.
Yep.
That's what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. But when you're playing behind singers, it's a whole different set of your chops.
That's right. That's right. And even the fusion music had the FMPs where you listen to some of those subtleties.
Exactly. It was dynamic. It was dynamic. It still had an arrangement to it.
That's right. That's right. Dynamic. And see, that's why you mentioned Billy Cobham and Lenny White and, these great drummers, Chambers and all these guys, because that's why they could fluctuate and go from thing to thing to thing to thing.
Right.
Because it wasn't just their like, of course they got chops, baddest cats in the world.
Right.
But when you listen to Dennis, like you told me this, you turned me on to the Sugar Hill stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that.
Yep. And Dave Weckl. Dave Weckl played him and the bass player. They did Natalie Cole's Inseparable album.
Oh, yes.
Joe Sample.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the same dude who also played on Madonna tracks, just like Omar. Straight pocket.
Yep.
Y'all know what he could do, but straight pocket.
Yep.
So when you listen to that, go, you would never know that was Weckl. That shows you how great he is.
That's right. That's right.
I play what the music is called for.
Yep.
But again, they doing their thing, and it'll come, hopefully,
Yeah.
But I mean, right now, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because the same thing with the keyboard players, they playing 1,000 notes. But it is what it is. Now, my thing is, the difference is when we were playing like that, because believe me, when I first got in the R&B band, I was playing Billy Cobham roles.
Yes.
In it, right? But then I was 15.
Right.
15, 16. I wasn't 20, 21, 25 playing like that behind, people. So once I moved into the especially around the way at that time, there was a lot of singing groups, males. So everything was about dynamics. Everything was breakdown. So, you know, that whole Blue Magic, stylistic type stuff, you getting fired for playing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep. Yep.
You getting fired.
Yep.
So, you know, you play what's called, and then at that time, it was about them breakdowns, man. Something as simple as that. You know, as Boots would say, something as too simple as 2 and 4. You know, what James Brown has illustrated that. Pocket, the funk, the one. You play anything more than that, then hit the door. I'm saying we listening to Stubblefield, man, and listening to that funk, that type of, you know, stuff they playing.
Yep.
And it's Pocket.
That's
Pocket.
right. That's right.
You know,
I want to give a quick shout out to
it.
James Jones and also Elizabeth watching in Ireland. I love you guys, man. I normally do my normal long thing, but I'm in the process of moving, so I got kind of things packed up a little bit, but the show must go on. We hanging out today on Fun from the Front Seat with my guy, my brother, man, from another mothership, Mr. Kevin Harrington, man. And we just sitting here vibing. We got a little time we're going to spend, and you know, we appreciate you guys stay active on the chat line. Go back and watch the show. My producer, Mr. Markley, I love you, brother. You know, you mentioned something before about cats that did different things like Weckl and this and that. And you had mentioned something to me before where, you know, you take an Anthony Jackson playing bass and, you know, him writing the OJ's, one of their biggest hits, For the Love of Money, right? And then also, you know, when you look at the stuff he did on the disco tune, I Will Survive, playing bass on that too. You know what I'm saying?
He killed that.
Hey, right. He killed it for sure. There's not a single double note in there that he played twice, and he proved it all the way. Yep.
That he slaughtered it. Yeah, and what he did on Chaka's album.
Yeah,
I thought it brought a whole new thing now to R&B, and the bass players had to take notice. And I would say that's when cats realized I got to get a 5-string.
Yes.
Even though he was already playing a 6-string.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of cats just wasn't hip to that, but it's the way he was using it.
Yeah.
And so that's when people are like, oh, so I don't have to play a keyboard, get a 6-string bass. Yeah, I can play that low end.
Yeah,
because his grooves on that Chaka album, man, that's the tune that Ashford and Simpson wrote.
Oh, Clouds.
Woo!
I knew what you talking about right away when you said after it says gotta be Clouds.
And again, Steve Ferroni playing drums.
Yes.
Pocket for days.
Yep.
Pocket for days.
Yep.
I remember I first heard him on the AWB Live album I had.
Yeah.
Steve Ferroni. You know, for me, he was playing with them where he kept it interesting, but it was Pocket, and I was like, him and Harvey Mason.
Yes. Yep.
That was like, this is how you could keep yourself interested, keep it slick, but never disturb the groove.
Yeah, exactly. See, and those cats, because they came out of that post James Brown on the One era, they still had that in them, which made for great recordings. Like if you go back and listen, anybody out there that's watching knows this, you go back and listen to the richness of those drum tracks, even going all the way back to the Motown stuff. You listen to that backbeat, the richness of what those cats was putting in, the George Clintons, the Bootsy, the Frankie Cash, and Jerome Braley, all of that funk stuff and all of the stuff we just talked about. There was a richness there that a lot of young drummers today are seeking, but they're jumping over it. And I wish they would just kind of go back and just listen. Don't go back to try to learn first. First, just listen. Right. Listen to Sly, how his thing was. Listen to all these different pockets and then start developing something different. Because right now we've hit the ceiling. There's nothing out there that I want to go buy or listen to. Right. Not even bands, not even bands.
I mean, it's knowing your purpose of your part in the music. And again, because when we was coming up, we had a lot of teachers, and not directly, but to listen to.
Yeah.
And again, like making a record is a different part of your chops than live.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, it's that thing. So you want live to be another level, you know, but to make a record is something that's going to be, you hope for it be around for 50 years.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's
That's right.
important how you make the record.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So, you know, and again, you know, people learn over time. Some people don't want to learn. I can't fault them with, you know, whatever's making them happy.
That's right. That's right.
You
You
know.
got a nice compliment from Keith Jackson when he was listening. They played Dirty Vamp on P Funk Radio. And he was like, wow, who's that on drums? And I was like, that's my guy, Kevin. Because you did it
Thank you.
so slick, but it was so much power behind it and so much energy and so much stuff. But he was like, wow, y'all really put your foot into that. I was like, no, man, that's his drummer. Everybody else was just floating. That was Kevin doing that chops at the end.
That was a great tune, man.
That is still a good song. It is. I listen to it to this day, and I'm like, all right, you know, a little remastering, a little polish.
We hit that hard. We definitely hit that hard.
Yeah.
Shout out to Prez. But we hit that hard, Tanya.
Yes. Andre, right? It was Andre John.
Oh,
yeah. Y'all put the shine on that one, man.
Dre put his foot in that solo.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I just talked to Andre the other day, man. We were supposed to do something, but we're not going to end up doing it. It was far away, but he's doing all right. Wayne Woodford moved down here too, man. So I've been in touch with him. Yeah.
Who? You said Wayne
Woodford? He's in South Carolina. Wayne Woodford.
I don't remember him. I didn't know him.
Yeah, but he was in our circles. You just didn't know him.
Yeah, I didn't know him. Right.
Yeah, he's a killer, man.
Is Dre in North Carolina?
Who?
Andre, is he in North Carolina?
Yes, he is. He's in Asheville.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he's about 3 hours from me.
Okay, southwest, which way?
Yeah.
Which way from you? Is he further south or to the west?
No. Andre is towards Kentucky. He's up in Asheville, going towards Boone, up in the mountains.
Okay.
So I would guess that's like west. I guess that's northeast.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. But he's chilling over there. I talk to him regularly. We stay up on it because he's working with some local people over there. Whatever.
Yeah. I seen him posting. I would see Asheville at first. I thought maybe just went there for a gig, but then I was like, wow, he's been there a long time. Did he move? You know?
Yeah. Him and his mom. Yeah, but he's doing good. He told me to tell you hello. He's doing good, man. Because I told him I was like, Kev's coming on. He's like, oh, make sure you shout him out. And Spacey T that you never met also admires your work. Cat from California. Yeah, man. Spacey. He's insane, man. And you know, because I was turning him on to who did stuff, Revolution, this and that, and he heard that. He's like, wow, who did that? I was like, yo, that was done in Queens. My guy Kev did that, man. But yo, yeah, man. That's why we got to do part 2.
Yeah, because I was in another space there. I never did that again, man. Nothing was coming. Like that was coming to me. It was like, okay.
Yeah. I felt totally honored that you guys even put it in that space.
Yeah, man. And then to have Jeff come in and do what he did, you know, I got to have my cousins on point. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Kayla, I remember she was little and I used to bring her to the studio, you know. Now she's 19, but I used to bring her. And she used to be just hanging out, 3 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a blessing because I think about, you know, how many people that particular project has touched at a time when they needed it. You know, that's why periodically you see me drop it and put songs out and, you know, just let people know, hey, this ain't for me. This was for you guys. It always was for you guys. We didn't make this for us. We always made it for you guys. Always, man, you know. So we're hanging out with Kevin Harrington today, man. So what you got new in the KHX experiment? What's going on?
Well, I mean, I'm working on my project, you know, among some other things. Working I'm part of a what would you call it? Because you know I do licensing stuff myself.
Yes.
But I'm also part of another company. My friend Warren McCray and Trevor McGill have.
Okay.
So, you know, I submit stuff to that. And you know, with the clothing line, I'm doing that. We're in negotiations now to maybe do a gospel project with a artist from here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, just always trying to, you know, do something.
Yo, man, that's what's
Is
up, man. You inspire us, man. So by all means, keep doing it. And I was looking at this back, authentic technique, emotional feel, tone dynamics, rhythm, tempo,
oh yeah,
space,
yeah,
crazy.
that what's name shirt, yeah,
Yeah, I love that, man. I
yeah,
saw that. I was like, yo, that's pretty much says it all, man.
right.
But congrats because branching out and doing the licenses thing and making all of
Mhm.
these beautiful merchandise pieces, individualized pieces for people, man, is definitely the wave of the future. And you've always been progressive anyway. So you've always had your ear. You're the first person that turned me on to Facebook when I was on MySpace. You told me, he's like, yo, man,
Mhm.
this is who they call Facebook. And I was like, what is he talking about? Facebook? I was like, I was still trying to master MySpace, and I never forget it. I was living in Staten Island. You said, nah, man, forget that. In that Kevin kind of voice. He was like, nah, man, forget that. And I was like, okay, you've always been that for me and for everybody else. So that
Appreciate it.
speaks
Appreciate
volumes,
that.
man. That speaks volumes, bro. But I've been noticing with this new technology and this new way we have to sell music, merch,
Mhm.
and everything else. I love the fact that you said we have to work together because I wrote down some notes that you and I were talking about
Right.
when we was prepping the show a couple of weeks ago. Um,
Mhm.
and we was talking about working together for the greater good of humanity. Give us a little insight on what you feel that means.
Um, to me, it's always having the positive, in whatever we do, is being positive, and that's not always easy. Me and you know that. It,
Yeah,
we both know the low points that we've been in our life,
yeah,
and sometimes the hardest thing you want to hear is somebody saying to stay positive
yeah.
because it's not easy.
Nah,
It's not easy, and so the state of the world, um, it's not easy. All you gotta do is turn on the news, and you be like, oh man, you know, I don't even want to leave my house.
yeah, yeah,
But again, I think the older I get, I don't want to say that is I'm desensitized, but in a sense, we've seen it.
yeah. That's right.
We've seen it, you know. So when I hear comments, and this is my personal thing, when I hear comments talking about, oh, things are getting, the relations is getting worse, I'm like, I don't know what world was y'all living in. Worse. And you can tell me when there was the period of it being good, then we can
Right,
go from there.
right.
Cause us being older, us being kids during the civil rights era, I'm like, tell me when y'all talking about. Because
Yep.
I know it was only worse before me.
Yeah.
And so since I've been here, it's like systematically it's been done a certain way, but it's never went away.
Yeah.
So, and I gotta say we live in the age of distraction.
Yes, we do. Yep.
I even have that on the shirt. We live in the age of distraction. And marketing is the great brainwasher, that you're distracted to things that matter. Because again, they want people to be sheep and just do what we tell you. And those who don't fall for it, then you become an enemy of the state.
That's right. That's right.
And we see what happens to we've seen what happens to those people. Now instead of giving you the bullet, is more popular to ruin your character,
Besmut you. That's right.
because people, again, they such a follow the leader that they gonna believe the bad thing first.
Yep.
I was watching it's a new show that came on, and this guy he's some type of profiler,
Oh
and
yeah, I
so
know you talk about. Yeah.
he the cop, they were talking about a case, and the cop said, well, this case is closed, he confessed. and he said something very, which most people don't think about. He said, so if he had to say he didn't do it, would you believe him like you did because he confessed? She ain't had no answer. Of course, this is scripted, but that's true.
Yes, right. That's right.
So if I confess, you accepting all of that, because we know there's people that's coerced into confessing and didn't do it.
That's right.
But you take that, oh well, he confessed, so he did it. So if he had said he didn't do it, nah, we're gonna investigate this because we don't believe you. So why did you believe the fact that him saying I did it, opposed to if the same guy says I ain't do this?
Yep.
It's such a mindset.
That's right. That's right. You said something interesting, because as a mindset, we are, when you mentioned like sheep, right? And the age of distraction, everything now, and like you said, getting older, you start to see this, the spirit in you lets you see clearly the darkness and the light. And in this country and in this world right now,
which has been foretold, is me and you come out of scripture, so it's not anything that we wasn't told already.
That's right.
Our grandparents have been saying it way back then, and we living in it.
Yep. That's the thing. We are living it. And it's not weird, but it's just like, I'm like, well, I shouldn't be surprised.
Right. And I'm not.
I was told.
Not. Right. I'm not surprised at anything, and you just see it coming. With the technology is distraction of what they're doing.
Yep.
People look at certain things as convenience.
Yeah.
It's like, really, you think that's convenient? Yo, I was laughing the other day because I remember I know we came up watching Super Friends.
Yeah.
There was an episode that they showed where computers was taking over everything.
Yeah.
So people were just sitting back in the chair, and the guy pulling the gas station, and the nozzle would come off by itself and put it in the car, and he was just sitting there doing nothing. And people thought that was great.
Yeah.
Like Twilight, they go in Twilight Zone, it was like, yeah, but they don't need you anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Even they showed episodes like that where people were getting replaced.
Obsolete.
So here we are.
Yep. Obsolete. I had a passenger the other day in my Uber car, this lady, and we was talking, right? And she was from like Iowa, I think. And we were talking about, cars and stuff, right? So I told her, I was like, I wouldn't want a car that takes over from me. I said, I don't want anything smarter than me trying to drive me around. Right. I said, right there off the bat, there's something wrong with that. I said, because now you're basically rendering my brain useless. And my brain then says, okay, well, you got time to do other things. But I don't want to do other things when I'm driving. I want to focus on the highway,
Right.
And these little things, they slip them in subtly here, subtly there.
Exactly. And they push them off as convenience, though.
Yes. Yep.
This is the microwave age. Everybody just want, oh, great, I don't have to be doing this. I don't have to be doing that. To where it's like, you don't see that where you're not going to be needed at all, or they just going to be telling you what you're going to do.
Yep.
It's insane, man.
You ever notice sometimes? That's right. You ever notice sometimes when you're just trying to make a conversation or call a text, and Google will just open itself up and be like, "Bing, what do you want?"
Yeah, it's listening to you the whole time.
Yes, all the time. I'm like, why are you doing this to me?
Right.
So I didn't ask for you.
Invading your privacy is being sold as convenience.
Yep, that's right.
Like, oh, so when you go online, things will pop up that it was like, okay, so how did it know that I was interested in looking for some new whatever?
Yeah.
I've been listening to you the whole time.
Yep.
Now some people go, oh man, that's fire, that's dope. Nah, man, so when you say something wrong or against somebody, they recording all of this.
They got it. That's right. They got it. Technology is a tool like anything else, and we need it for certain
things. That's how it should be used.
That's right. That's right. I don't know why. And there's something I want to get into you with too. I want to ask you a question about it. We're hanging out with Kevin Harrington today, man. This brother's amazing. Please follow his link tree down at the bottom. Check out his apparel line and his merch line, and everything that this brother's doing is dope. He's a reg on the show, man. So, shout him out on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Funk from the Front Seat, 9 on the Grind TV. every Saturday at 12. When we look at like a lot of the technology that they're utilizing to, they claim, save the world, but yet we still, cancer, we know is big business. We know,
Mhm.
People going off the war, coming back with prosthetics, big business. Rehab, big business. They have all this stuff planned. How can we as artists bring light to this?
It's interesting that you say that because I forgot what I was looking at. If we look at, I would say in our time, the 60s was all revolution.
Yeah.
All artists felt that they should be saying something in their songs. There it is. There's no and I just designed this shirt and haven't put it out yet. But music is the best teacher. You put something in a song, more people
Yep.
will listen to that than
Yep.
somebody getting up making a speech or something like that.
Yep.
That's to me, that was the whole basis of hip hop.
Yeah.
You got something to say, and that was the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the platforms that other people have, but put out a song, people will listen to it.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
Public Enemy, my favorite.
Yeah, mine too.
That was the whole basis.
Yep.
Where other people were talking about at first, the partying and stuff. Nothing wrong with that. But when you realize that, like, hey, I could put this in the record too to make people think. Yeah. And what did George Clinton say way back? Think. It's not illegal yet.
That's right. That's right.
Not yet.
Yep.
But as you can see, they're trying to get rid of that.
Yep, that's right. When Grandmaster Flash first came out with "Don't Push Me, I'm Close to the Edge," we used to all listen to it. And I had some white friends back then, right? And they didn't know. I was like, yo, this brother is talking about exactly what he sees every day. And they was like, really? I was like, yo, listen to it. Right. He's telling you, all the stuff that he sees. Grew up to be pimps makers, big money makers, right? Robin needs to spend the 20s and 10s, and you want to grow up to be just like them. It's basically telling you, like, listen, this is the new form of information. I'm giving it to you, and I'm going to put it, like you just said, in a way that you could groove in this hip hop, whatever.
Right. Because before that, it was all spoken word. You had the last poets.
Yes.
Already the poets were already doing that.
Yeah, that's right.
But what happens when you got a lot of people that wasn't into it, put the music to it? Oh, now it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Because it's basically the same thing, but now put some music to it. So now the music done grabbed you, and so now you'll listen.
Yeah. People need to go back and listen to some of the stuff the last poet said, because that is even happening now.
Right.
Yep.
Again, I really gotten into some of Angela Davis stuff.
Yes.
I watch her and to talk about what was going on, and you realize that fight hasn't stopped. We've achieved some key places to get in, but even those people you got to be careful of, because along the way they lost who they were.
That's
and
right.
They become part of the system.
That's right.
So now we can't assume because somebody got the same skin tone as you that they understand and they're gonna fight for you.
That's right. Chuck D said that every brother ain't a brother because of color.
Yep.
Exactly. Shout out to Chuck D.
Exactly.
Yep.
Look who got rid of Malcolm, and look who got rid of certain people.
Yep. That's right. We are chopping it up today with Kev, because some of this stuff needs to be said, and I know you guys will go back and watch it. Stay active on the chat line, man. Funk from the front seat. Self-promotion, and especially the brown skin community, has always been a push-pull kind of thing, where we pushing it, but then we got other brothers and sisters trying to pull it back down. Right? So as an independent promoter, businessman, entrepreneur, what advice do you have for our young people trying to just cut out the outside noise?
Well, it's for me, I think the young people got a probably a better handle on it.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I do like is that once they get on that grind, that hustle, they go.
Yeah.
My thing is, if they really educate themselves first about it, then they won't run into them same pitfalls other people
Yeah.
do, because they have the drive,
Yeah.
to do it, which is very important. But why not
Yeah.
have the drive and the knowledge to go with it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because to this day, we still getting the same thing with these artists as 60 years ago. And back then the artists didn't even have a choice. Remember at one time they couldn't even copyright their own songs. Black folks couldn't even copyright their own songs at one time. So
Yeah.
as time went on, how is it that you're still falling into the same thing?
Yeah.
It's great to hear that some of these artists realize now that, oh, I'm gonna own my masters. They've got
Yeah.
hip to that. Publishing,
Right.
that's where your money is. When that streaming came, here comes the next robbery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I gotta say, for a new artist, you may want to stream first because you want to build the audience base. So it makes sense. But once you get to a certain place, stop streaming. And what did Prince show? You got to come to my site to buy my product.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you don't have, if you're established, you don't have to keep streaming. If
Yep.
you got a fan base and you got followers, then they'll come to where your stuff is.
Yeah. That's right.
They'll come to where your stuff is. So have a site. You cutting out them robbing you with the streaming, playing you 0.3 cent.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But somebody's making the money.
That's right. That's right.
This is why
Right.
we see so many tours right now by artists, because the money's being made from the live thing. Because
Yeah.
none of them are making money off the streaming.
Yes. And I was going to get into that with you because you're right. Because everybody is coming out of the woodwork
Right.
to tour if they
Mhm.
got the means to do it, make it
Right.
pop.
Right. Which is
and this
good for
whole
the consumer. It's good for me because you get to see people that, I'm
Yeah.
glad to see you back out here.
Yeah. And I like the fact that, Rick James has his Stone City band and they out doing
Mhm.
stuff. Some of the people that passed on, they
Right.
still got some of the cats doing it,
Right.
keeping that name alive.
And
I
people
think
want to
that's
see
really
that
cool.
though. Because again, the industry is overlooking our age group.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
As I always say, the original hip hop people.
Yep.
So people still want to see those acts. Like even in the 90s, like my daughter, when somebody from the 90s hits the road, them tickets, she said, hey, you don't get them tickets in the first hour, you probably ain't gonna get them.
Yeah.
Because there's a demand for that.
Yep.
But then the big companies, they not even looking at that. Like, yo, there's money. They leaving money on the table by overlooking a certain demographic.
That's right.
Because they just want to cater to the young people. Why? Because they can mold their minds.
Yep. And see, that's why your iHearts and your this and your that, and nothing against them. And again, my opinions are just that of Funk from the Front Seat, not StreamYard, not Facebook, not YouTube. Right? That's why I'm sick of those people, man, because they make it so difficult, to just perform your own stuff, let alone trying to be on and be a supporting act. They call it, they don't say opener no more.
Right.
Be a supporting act, right? Because some of these supporting acts, they're contradictory to what the act is. Like I saw a folk act open up for Trombone Shorty and Dumpster Funk.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a girl playing folk music. Now, she was great. She was good.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But just because she had a following in that area over here in North Carolina, they put her on to open, right? And I'm thinking, well, you didn't even, like you said, you didn't even look further than that.
Right.
There's other things that could have went on, to slide in that slot, including us,
Right.
But it's just bizarre, man.
And,
like young people that are running these places don't see past 30.
Right. And what you had to take into account, Zach, is so if you're a promoter, right? So now you're not looking at it from the music side. You're a promoter. You're looking at it strictly from the bottom line.
Yep.
That's it. What's going to sell? What's going to put money in my pocket? And that's an issue. Now, I can't blame a businessman. If you're in business, that's what you're in business for.
Yeah.
Again, these promoters are not the same as back when the promoters was about how great the music was too. The music would sell itself.
Yeah.
Now it's just about who can I get to come.
Yeah.
So like you said, if I got to put this folk singer because she has a big following in this area, that's who they're gonna get because they're trying to make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why everything has turned into a jazz festival, right? And you see maybe 2 jazz acts, and
Right.
that has to do with insurance. I found that
Yeah.
out from a promoter
Uh-huh.
when I was on the road, and he was like, "Oh yeah, if it's a jazz festival, pays the lowest insurance. Nobody wants to say a hip hop festival. It's millions of dollars for insurance."
Yeah. Yeah.
So they
Mindset.
go, oh,
Yeah.
right. So they go, oh, it's a jazz fest. Make sure you put 2 jazz artists on there, and then you go, but everybody else in here is R&B, or
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that, but why is it called a jazz fest? Call it a music fest. And that's the behind the scenes things about that. They try not to pay a bunch of insurance as a promoter.
That's right. Which and insurance actually went up even more because of the COVID thing now.
Right. It's the one thing that we don't that I know of. I haven't heard of any fights breaking out at jazz shows.
Nah.
So that's
True.
why the insurance is.
That's true though. It's a fact.
That's what happens.
Yep.
At hip hop, they almost going. We know it's going to be a shooting.
Oh, it's going to be something happening.
So right.
Yeah.
So that's an insurance thing from the promoter's side. So that's all they're trying to do. That's why a lot of times, even with like we were saying before, funk festivals, they had to be done by musicians or a promoter that's involved with more than just the bottom line, who this music needs to be heard. That there's still some out there. I saw online some pictures from what they were calling the Orange County, I think, funk festival.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Evelyn Champagne King, I enjoy her. Climax, again, this is where we realize that the word funk has grown into something, like the size of jazz. Maybe not as big, but it's all different kinds of funk now.
Yeah.
So some people will go, man, none of them people funky that's on there.
Yeah.
But certain grooves can be funky because that's when we get into, the definition of the whole thing.
Yeah. It's funny because this band out of Atlanta, Funk You, they come through here, they'll do the link or whatever, and they down there and they tour Motet. And these guys that will listen to a lot of Herbie and Fusion and Chick Corea stuff have now crossed that over with their own progressive kind of whatever they're learning coming out of college kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing funk-ish stuff.
Right.
But it's not funky, but they don't even have a category for when they go out, but yet they still getting the work because of their skin color. And this is what be pissing me off, because they're not even the promoters know, like you said, okay, if we put these white guys up there, they may not be playing as funky or whatever, but we feel there'll be less of a chance of violence. And see, that's so discriminatory against acts that really want to get out there and pop,
Yeah, but that's Louis Armstrong and them, and then Dixieland came. Why? Because y'all couldn't play what they were playing.
Right.
So we'll call what we do something else.
He said Dixieland. You're right, no.
Do something else. You know that you see they never mess with bebop. Right. Like, we're not gonna try to do something else. Like either you can play it or you can't.
Right. That's true though, man.
But,
go ahead.
It's what that's what happens, and that's the system. And at times it's like it's not right, but then you just gotta go, what can we do ourselves? Yeah. Because you can't always like, hey, if that's what they want to do and that's what they want to do, we got to be self-sufficient on our own end.
That's right. That's right.
And our people have always done that.
Yeah.
You had that discussion about the funk world coming together, building some type of alliance to help each other. Yeah. I just think there has to be that parent company, and then everything else you have to put on your old show. Like I always said, what Sinbad was doing to me was it. Yeah. That was it. He ain't getting no help though. Yeah. That should have never went away. But to me, that was the prototype. Yeah. And he could do that every year, then it could be done.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And we have enough black dollars. I'm sick of people saying there's no black
Oh,
money. That's not true.
Black folks get richer every year.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's just the mind focus on what they want to do is just getting that right connection. What you're doing, being a bachelor with Bootsy and his wife. I just think sometimes like people like him would have to go to the table and to say like a Bob Johnson, and not even somebody there, but somebody with some money, a ball player that, yeah, I came up on this with my parents. Sometimes you just gotta find them because they got the money.
Yeah, exactly.
To want to do that.
Exactly. Because like you said, we still here. Our generation, it's not like it used to be. We are all living prosperously in our spirit longer because times, health is better, this is better, that's better, whatever, right? I'm not saying it's better spiritually, but so they forgot there's not even any radio stations for us to listen to.
Right.
Even on satellite, they'll be playing P-Funk or Bootsy or Dumpster Funk or, Roger Troutman or Bernard Wright or whoever, and they'll be calling it soul.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, even in the internet world, you can't even give what it is it's due.
Right.
This is why I constantly pump Tom Brown. He's a nice guy. I met him down here. I constantly try to pump people like Bernard Wright. I constantly push that stuff out there, to people because I want them to know, listen, there's a whole nother category of music you guys ain't even listening to that you need to hear. If you say you like music. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you say so. We hanging out there. Yo, bro, you mind if I show one of your videos? I got a couple of here, man. We're hanging out with Kevin. Y'all sit back, man. We still got a little bit of time to spend with this brother. We're going to talk a little bit more about what's happening up on the hill and, hanging out and talking about his new apparel and how, we need independence in our community. But y'all check this out, man. This one talented brother, man. Peep this, yo.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Today on Musician Rewind, we have KHX, the Kevin Harrington Experiment. We're going to get into his latest single, Smooth Oasis, featuring John Groovalicious Willis, and then we're going to get into the rest of the project.
Okay, that's a wrap.
I forget. That's at the end, yo.
Yeah.
Kudos, man. Kudos, man.
Yeah, she's at the end of my next one.
I love that.
Just because it's with her, she's interested, and I bought her a keyboard and stuff, and so that's become my thing. And in my videos, she'll always be doing that, and you'll see the growth because she's older now. So people always also see how she's getting older. So she'll always be saying that it's a rap. That's my thing for my videos.
Yo, I love that, man. Yo, I love it. Yo, that is so slick. So tell us a little bit about that concept before we get back into the other clothing thing. But when you were making that, thinking about that music and putting it together, what did you really want to do? Because to me, it's amazing. I sit back and watch it every now and then, and to see groove in there,
So when I do my thing, so Kevin Harrington Experiment is just what it is. There'll be different styles of music. So I'm always gonna be featuring somebody. It's more so that. So of course with John, because like even with John, right? So people that know that we play with Nappy Head, and you heard John, but then probably wouldn't expect John to be smooth like that.
Yeah.
Even when you listen to his project. I told him, I said, wow, people be surprised that you can be as raunchy as you are and then being smooth as you are.
Yeah.
And again, because when we came up in music, we was listening to everything.
That's right.
I didn't want to do just the one thing. So I've always, lean that way. But again, doing your project showed my other thing. Even in when we was doing that was funk based.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten to that with me. Only now, here's the other thing. I know we haven't gotten to it yet. As far as promoting your stuff.
Yeah.
So being experimental, I'm like, okay, I want to do whatever kind of music I want to do. But here where the roadblock came. When you're trying to promote it to stations, here comes the lanes.
Right.
Like they're not gonna take that whole thing. Oh no, we only play R&B. Oh no, we only play smooth jazz. And so you got this other stuff on there. So now I can't send the whole thing.
Yeah.
To one station.
Yeah.
So now that's where it started getting split up. And then I realized that, okay, so they're showing me that my next project, I'm gonna have to do smooth jazz, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do funk, the whole thing. I'm gonna have to do whatever, the whole thing, to get it, because they just will not take it. Them days of those stations is over.
Yeah.
They want it to be, whatever it is that they do. To where again, when we was coming up, radio play whatever was good music.
Yeah, it was all exactly. That was the whole purpose of listening to the radio, to hear something new. That's where you heard all your new. First time I heard.
It was good for us. I'm glad that was going on in our time.
Yep, me too.
Because that exposed me to all kinds of music.
Yep.
I listen to classical.
Me too.
Everything.
Yep. I remember the first time I heard Sammy Davis Jr. singing Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? Right, who can make the sun rise? Right. I was like, you mean to tell me this how he got to get on? It's how he got to get on the radio. Sammy freaking Davis Jr.
Right.
Singing Candyman.
Right. But can do it. That was the other thing, though.
That was the thing, though. He pulled it off. Yeah.
Right. So there goes the people with their mouth dropping. Go, wow. You know, we thought all y'all did was sing blues and rhythm, and
Yep. And perfect example. Remember Elvis Presley came out with that song "In the Ghetto." You know what I'm saying? Now, how the hell you Elvis? Come on now. But he pulled it off because he was good. But again, he was singing about the ghetto, and even if black people was like, okay, the song pretty good. It got some. It made me feel a certain way. But I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But even on the just on the fact of the word ghetto, it depends on the world where you are, because everybody don't look like us in the ghetto. So
that's right.
You can go to certain places and they're gonna whatever the majority of people look like. There's gonna be a ghetto area.
That's right. And you know what? I was just thinking about this the other day, and this is totally off the subject. But when I watch all these shows, and nothing against Tyler Perry and this and that and BT, because I know they're doing what they do. But I'm like, I told somebody, we was talking about it in the car, and I was like, that ain't no proper representation of black people. I'll tell you right now, it's not. And they pushing that narrative.
Well, let's understand BT's not owned by us. So that's what people need to understand. Bob Johnson sold that, Unitel had this, so the people who own MTV own that. Yep. So we ain't getting to pick what the narrative. We ain't getting to pick the narrative.
Like, I don't know black people that dress like that. I don't know black people that talk like that. And we definitely don't spend hours and hours in the house fighting each other over BS.
Exactly.
So why you think that? Why you pushing that narrative?
Right.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Again, that definitely goes to what Malcolm always said. You got to have your own. You have to. Yep. And every other group does.
Yep.
Every other group does. Telemundo, NBC. Right. But who is that? They get to do their own thing.
Yep. Yeah, right. It's funny though. It's true. It's true. Sábado y Domingo. They had that a long time ago.
How come that they didn't want Bill Cosby to buy NBC? You know why?
Yeah. Yep.
It would have been the dominating network.
Yeah.
Can't have that.
Yeah.
Can't have that. So, what's my man? Byron.
Oh yes, Byron Allen. Right.
Byron Allen.
Yes.
He's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Because it comes a time you got to stop talking about, I want to seat at the table. Make your own table with excellent carpenters. As they said, make your own table. Who says you have to keep trying to do that?
Yeah, that's right.
You don't need that validation.
That's right. And see, you just said the key word. We don't need the validation because it's already been validated what it is.
Exactly. They're copying us. We ain't spending thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to get no injections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So who you copying? I ain't laying out in the sun risking skin cancer trying to get dark.
Yeah.
I got melanin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
see, and the crazy part is the government treat these crazy people, politics and high-priced prostitution got people convinced that we have to constantly fight each other and hate each other just so they can continue to steal more. And then half the time we're doing stuff to ourselves and don't realize it.
But that's what I'm saying. Distraction. Yep. So if people go back through history and they'll see that what any system doesn't want is the people unite. You don't, because first of all, there's poor people in every color of the rainbow.
Yeah.
What they don't want is for them to get together and realize, hey, I don't have a problem with you. Guess who's telling us that we should have the problem?
That's right.
That's when the issues come.
Yep.
When they used to say the all power to the people, all power to the people. Yep. Not just power to the people, all power to the people. And when you start seeing them groups get together in the 60s and going, yo, we've been duped. They've been telling me certain things about you, but now I'm realizing that y'all not the issue. Y'all not the problem. We all paying taxes, and look what they doing with it. So they want me to blame you for the way things is going. Really? I ain't taking money from you before you even see it.
That's right.
They're trying to tell me, oh, well, you're on the system. First of all, everybody on the Hill is on the system. What are you talking about?
Right.
They're getting paid through your tax money.
Yep.
So, you know,
Yep.
like you said, that's been the issue. So as long as they can keep people fighting, they can keep doing what they're doing. But anytime they see a powerful voice come to unite, gotta go. That person gotta go. We've seen that through history.
Yep. Yep. And I'm praying this time around. I was just gonna say I didn't mean to cut you up, but I'm praying this time around when we see what's getting ready to happen again, what just happened 3.5 years ago, whatever, right? I really pray and hope that people have heeded the warning and the lessons. Like, don't get caught up into trying to hurt people, intimidate people, scare people. Just let the thing play out because it's going to play out like it's supposed to anyway. Because we don't really, there's no way somebody that's 75 years old that's been in Washington, D.C. for 55 plus years can relate to me. And they got millions and I'm working with hundreds. You know what I'm saying? Right. It can't be done. Right. And like George Carlin said, we were never part of the game. He said that as common, never part of the game. Now, because of guys like you and things that we're trying to do and, you know, your company and things that I'm trying to do, whatever, hopefully people can watch some of this stuff and be like, okay, if they need that little push, here's your little push. Just do it. You know, because I can tell you, I talked to this brother before this thing even started 4 years ago about I wanted to do something. Him and I talked in the car about it, and we talked about it for months before I even brought it to Mark, you know, about just trying to bring this whole funk thing together. So God made that a reality. So anything you set your mind to, trust me, you can do it. You can do it, man.
Yeah. It's not always easy, and it's going to be some pushback, but like I always said to you, though, there's some people somewhere else trying to do the same thing. And if everybody can find each other, there's more strength in the unity. You pool your resources and stuff like that. Because when you're separated, then you know you're going on what you have. And, there's no way we're the only ones trying to do this. And but that's the thing. Everybody's all spread out. That's why.
Yeah. I know Bootsy just put a video out that I copied and pasted to my page. If you guys want to watch that, it's really cool. It's about like 2-3 minutes, but he was just talking about the genesis of the mothership and what actually it was purposely for. Because the reason he said George did that because he wanted everybody, all those groups to spread out and just go. That was the purpose that Bootsy broke it down like that. And now that it's still teetering, you know. And don't forget, shout out Tony Cam and Funk All Stars. We play New Year's Eve up in Virginia somewhere, so I'll be with them. But now that we're at this point where you could be in one state, I can be in another, and we can use all this technology that we've had for the past 30 years and really make it work. I really want other people to get the idea of tribe, because I think, in my opinion, that's what we're missing is the tribe. You know, it's the like, okay, I can do this and you can do that, so let's switch off and trade, you know, instead of bringing in an outside force. What are your thoughts on that?
What you're saying makes perfect sense. That's what you do. I mean, at one time, people wasn't using money. That's what they were doing. I got this skill. You got this skill. I'll do this for you. You do this for me.
Yeah.
You know, that's to me, that's what the working together, you know, thing is for the common cause. You know, and I mean, this is where, I mean, with technology, you can reach the globe. So that's the good thing. With the push of a button, that's the good thing. So, you know, a lot of things, like you'll see all these people come on and I could tell you how to do this. I could tell you how to do all of that. And it was like, yeah, I think if you could, you wouldn't be on here trying to help nobody. But, you know, that's just me. The fact of the matter is when you start a campaign, it's almost like you got to do like come up with ideas like what you consider using, you know, funk heads. You make that a movement. You know what I'm saying? And this is for people who listen to the music, because that's really who you're going to need the support from.
Yeah.
The people who listen to it.
Yep.
So if that was the thing, the funk heads of the world, then that's who you want to reach out to, because if you could grab new people, that'd be great. But we already know who's out here. again, because we still here, you know, it was my sister, you know, God bless her, rest in peace, who turned me on to Parliament. My sister took me to my first live show, you know, to see R&B and soul groups.
Yeah.
So she was always doing that. So you have people who love the music who don't play anything.
Yeah.
They just love the music. So now it's about orchestrating that.
Yeah.
Again, this is where I go back to Sinbad. He was doing it. So people were like, yeah. So people who love that music were going to that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just a thing. If it's going to be that that thing, then a campaign really has to, you marketing wise, you have to target that to get the people who love that music. You got to get them somehow in a group.
Yeah, that's right.
And, you know, be able to reach out to them. This is happening here because it's not just here.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I stayed in Europe, they love it over there.
Yeah.
They love it over there. Again, we talking about, I know this was years ago, but Alexander O'Neal, who I always liked, sold out Wembley Stadium 2 nights by itself.
Wow.
By himself.
Wow. And
So,
Wembley, that's the piece de resistance over there, exactly. Wembley.
So again, you know, somebody may go, yeah, that was a long time ago. I'm like, yeah, but all them people ain't died off.
That's right.
You know, these are the people that's not buying records no more because ain't nobody making nothing they want to hear.
Yep.
So that's an audience that has to be targeted. Like, where the funk heads at? They looking at, because their thing is like, who's making the new music like we like?
Yep.
And again, you know, the platform's getting thrown in your face of who they want you to see, but this is where the internet and everything comes into play, and it's, you know, it can be done. It's just a campaign that has to be promoted, and you know, and there's the other thing. Everything takes money.
Yep.
But
shout out to George the Funk Vinci, Elizabetta, James Jones, and another brother that just dropped something. So
a great artist he is. He does great work, man. George does great work.
Yeah, he does his thing for sure. He's a true funk soldier, club funketeer, ambassador, and artist as well. You know, so we appreciate you, George, man. You the man. You know, when we look at a lot of the comparisons to styles of how you want to put your music out there, how you want to market it. The thing that bothers me is that you can buy algorithms, numbers, and prop that, attach that to your stuff. And I tell people a lot of these numbers are not real. They're juiced, you know. What do you think about that?
I would say that's part of the game. That's part of the game. That is an old practice. That's nothing that the majors don't still do to this day. The majors now, they still do that because it's perception. If people, I put it like this: how does a con artist work? He makes you think that he's doing a certain thing.
Right.
So I can drive up in whatever is an expensive car. Never said it was mine. I never said this car was mine. Here goes people's perception. Oh, wow, he's driving a nice car. He must have money. They thought that. I never told them that.
Yeah.
That's part of the whole scam. I never told you that. I'm gonna get out in a nice suit. Now I'm gonna come talk my hustle. Here come the pimp game. Here come the pimp game. I got $2 in my pocket. But I'm gonna make y'all think y'all. And we seen it on large scales, man. We seen people pull that off. You know, people do it to banks. They'll come in the bank and just look at the way somebody dressed. Now, of course, it's harder for our skin tone, but then that's why you have somebody work for you. And you go, hey, go in there and get this loan because they're gonna think you own the company. You never said that you owned it, but they looking at your skin color, then use it to your advantage.
That's right. That's right. That's
you know,
right.
and there's organizations that do that. But that became part of the whole thing, that labels would buy their own artist records to make it seem that it was doing well,
Yeah, yeah,
because that's the only thing that people are respecting. So, you know, the kids get taken in by that to go, yeah, you know, what's the name? You may say, yeah, that record ain't that hot to me. Yeah, well, it sold 2 million. Okay, see, you think it sold 2 million because that's what they said. The company had to buy 1.5 million of them. But
right.
if it makes the public think that's what happened, then there you go.
Yep, that's right.
And
That's
that's
right.
part of it. So that's why you can buy numbers. Because when people see your stuff, they go, oh man, yo, his stuff is doing good. It's for that reason. Now, for those of us come from a certain era, we don't like that. But again, we got to understand that's the game.
Yeah, it
and
is.
This is how people are getting out there. So then you go, well, I can't keep bringing this bat, and everybody's got 9s on their show on their hips. I can't win. I'm carrying a bat. They can shoot me before I even get close.
That's right. That's right.
Because, you know, part of the game. And my thing is, people got to do what they got to do. And I think sometimes as musicians, when we come from, is why we get left in a certain area, because we're not willing to play that game.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, we can't complain that some no talented dude is doing this and now he's on TV and blah, blah, blah. Why? Because they're willing to do whatever. You know, they don't have that, you know, I'm not a good musician, I'm not a good bass player or whatever it is. However, I'm gonna make somebody think that I am.
Yeah.
Because with all this technology out here, I don't play half the instruments. You know, I play them good enough that I know what I want to hear. But I'm no superb, you know, instrument on nothing else. And you like you said, it's a tool, so you use it to your advantage. And that's just something that they started, where people could buy numbers. Back in the 80s, we had a producer hit me and my partner to this. He said, hey, he said, if you got the money, he said, your tune could come out at number 5 with a bullet, if that's where you want it to be.
Yeah.
And when he told me that, I realized the whole thing is it's just a game.
It's the money.
It's just a game. It's a money thing. You could pay to have your record where you want it to be, point blank. So when we see the award shows now and people be upset, being that I know the game, I go, yeah, okay. Nothing to get mad about.
That's right.
You go.
I only hear about them. Yep. I watched the replays on YouTube. I haven't sat down and actually watched an award show in forever until we all get on one. Me, you, Jeff, everybody else. Yo, we got a dope comment. Mark Lee's get ready to jump on. Also, shout out to George the Funk Vinci. Back in the day, radio stations helped with sales because you only heard what was played. That's right.
Right. And look at the payola scandals that used to be back then.
Yeah, that's right.
People were paying. People were paying that their record played. Sometimes, but you know what? Sometimes that's the only way they could get them on.
Yeah.
You know, because again, especially as artists of color, we was facing a whole nother situation. So, you know, when you watch Cadillac Records, my man did what he had to do to get Muddy Waters on the air, because he knows they're not gonna play no black artists unless I'm giving them something.
Yep.
So that was a reality. That was a reality across the board. Yeah, you know, we not playing this. Our sponsor ain't gonna have it.
That's right. And see, that's why when Little Richard and all of them was first coming through, that's why I get so pissed off that he don't have no statues and he ain't on the Mount Rushmore, because he's one of the few people that flipped it 2 or 3 times, you know, put white stuff on his face so he could be more palatable to the audience. They had him tone down his what they considered racist movements and shaking his hips and this and that and putting his leg on the keyboard and gyrating what Elvis was basically watching him, and then Elvis comes out and does it. And then they're like, okay, well, you get away with it.
But you know what? But then let's remember the early days of Elvis, he had to take the flack.
Yeah.
They was like, we don't want our children watching this guy. However, when they realized rock and roll wasn't going nowhere, their thing was, well, let us be the top of it. That's all it was. Let us be the top of it. And that's something they still haven't been able to do with hip hop. But they tried. They've been trying, but they couldn't do it. But back then it was like, okay, this is not going anywhere. Then let Elvis be the king. Because they ain't like him either when he came. Talking about all that gyrating and stuff he was doing. What did they say? Because he was dancing like black people.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But when they saw that even the promoters was going, are you kidding me? I ain't giving up this money.
Right.
I better figure something else out.
Right. And we're going to put him in movies too.
Right. Figure something else out. And so it became that. All right, well, then we'll have to be in charge of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In the story.
You know what's weird? Like, Mark, come on and jump in this conversation. But you know what's weird? Like, there used to be a buffer zone between movies, toys, products, and music. Whereas, yes, they put out a song, but then you might hear the song in a movie as a track or whatever, or some scene or something. But then they may come out with a toy or a doll after. Now, when these people are sitting in these corporate offices, they have the whole thing, the doll, the fast food that they're going to link it to, commercial, right? Kentucky Fried or whatever, Taco Bell. I don't eat none of that crap, and neither should y'all.
Nope.
Shout out to my boo and her family. And then they have, okay, we already got it set up for this movie. So it's all of this stuff is going to drop, then the song's going to drop, then it's going to be in this tour, right? So they basically lock this stuff in such a way to where there's no it just feels so styrofoamish, like another styrofoam cup coming out of the bag. You know what I'm saying? And that bothers me, man. Now, Mark, you had a comment. Oh, go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, a couple of things. One is called a monopoly.
No, Kevin, you was going to say something.
No, let him go ahead.
Yeah, it's called a monopoly because that's what it's all about. You look at who owns the venues, who owns the labels, and a number of other things. And I think about like people like Live Nation and a number of other ones in that space. So they also tapped into the toy and the movie industry as well. And I'm sure that Kevin knows that. I was actually going to mention something that he mentioned earlier because he was talking about that old school style of payola. But I also remember the record pools. And I'm sure that Kevin remembers the record pools as well. With DJs, they would get together and that would be a way to get the music out and all along those lines. But what I mentioned to you earlier, and I'd love to hear your thoughts around this, Kevin, is the Global Music Initiative. So President Biden has put that out. There was actually a kind of a press announcement about it with Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, who apparently is an amateur musician, and he was actually playing Muddy Waters and all along those lines. So he's playing Hoochie Coochie Man, and apparently he's a pretty decent musician, but it is to get musicians of various genres. I didn't see enough funk, but I did see that they were going to take some jazz to like China, to Saudi Arabia, to a number of other places, and the applications actually start in November. So I think that Zach needs to apply. I think you need to apply too. So maybe this is a way to.
You should get the application, bro. That's your job.
But here's the thing about that: jazz has always been at all those countries. Because I don't see where they're doing anything new. There's jazz artists right now been to every country that they mentioned. So I'm kind of want to know what it is that they think that they're doing with this, because again, like I said, music has always been global. It's been the best teacher around the world, and so I don't know what that is. I played in places, I really don't. Most people don't know that I actually performed in North Korea.
Right.
And this was in the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that they say that they want to do with this is they agree with something that I know I've heard Zach say several times, which is that music is the unifying force. It's the thing that can get us past a lot of conflicts. It probably can even get us past Ukraine and Russia, Israel and Palestine, and a number of other things. So they're hoping that they can use music as a leverage to kind of like have some of these conversations take place and all along those lines. Because if you notice, that's at China, which is considered not one of our friends and everything, is one of the places they are hoping to take the music to, and definitely to some of the Middle East as well. So against it, they're hoping to use music as well as the arts in general to kind of broker some peace and have people think about ways to be unified.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So again, I'm wondering like how out of touch are they really? This guy is, because I know musicians been back and forth. I know one that lives there in China. Again, this is nothing new for these nations, so I don't understand what it is that he's trying to accomplish, because musicians have been traveling to these countries for the longest. A singer friend of mine, she used to do Israel every year, and then again, Rolling Stones done been to all them places you talking about.
No,
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, music has always been that. So, I want to know what else is part of that initiative, though.
yeah, and I have to do some more research in that, Kevin. But
Yeah,
I do know.
I'm curious of what it is that maybe it's a different level of maybe not the so-called big artists,
Right.
because to me, if that's what happens, then it really is not helping up and coming artists. Then if you're gonna put the same people
And
on the
they said there
platform,
was
you might as well keep doing what they're doing now. Because if you're working with the right promoter, you can your band can play in Saudi Arabia, all of these places. So maybe they're trying to bring it as something new. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see because, like
Yeah.
you said,
What is he
I think
talking
I
about?
mentioned this to Zach before, but a friend of mine and I actually produced her show as well. She actually is co-owner of a club in Morocco, and she is actually used to work with Gerald Levert. So definitely, Coco McMillan has part owner of a club there that is in Morocco.
Right.
So she's actually co-owner with her friend that lives there, and all in that space. So that is something that I know she brings artists
I used to
into
play
town.
clubs in Japan every year. So again, they're not foreign to anything. So I'm curious to look into that myself and go, what is it that he's talking about that's going to be different? That'll be interesting.
I know I just sent that information to our manager down here, Diego Mark. So thank you for that. While we
No
were
problem.
talking, because we have to move quick.
Yeah.
But here's
Well,
something I wanted to ask both of you guys. When we look at the arts in general, and we look at the lack of grants in schools, the lack of artistic programs, after school programs. Boosie's doing it with Funk Not Fight. Tony Cam, we're doing it with the funk school with these kids that we teaching. We're all trying to do little bits and pieces. Kevin, you're doing it because a lot of the artists that you have that you up and coming, you're their mentor. Mark, when your parents had that radio station, right? What did they decide that they were going to play the music? Was it because it was the South and they were into blues, or was it because the blues was the South and that's what they wanted to promote? I always
No, they
wanted
had
to
a
ask you
certain
that.
sound that they were very much interested in, and they didn't hear enough of that. Ironically, at that time, it was jazz, to some degree, blues. Hip hop was just starting, so there was a hip hop show as well. There was even some funk music that was played on the station, but they were hearing a lot of the sounds that were not being played, so they wanted to create that station. And like I told you before, there is a legend that passed away many years ago, and they'll be honoring him here at the Hayti Center, Brother Youssef. And he was a legendary jazz performer, but he was also like a regular mainstay of my parents' radio station. So he would come and do performances there on a regular basis because he had moved here, ironically, from, I want to say, the New York area, actually Baltimore area, now that I think about it, and everything. And had been living down here for a while, and it actually groomed a lot of the jazz legends that are now here. So he had groomed like Nina Freelon and a number of other people that are seen as being major forces, not just here in North Carolina, but around the country and around the world. So he was definitely a pioneer, and that's kind of what they were doing, was trying to make sure that they was educating. And like I said, at the time that they were on the air, that was the beginning of hip hop. So they actually created one of the first hip hop shows here in this area. And some of those DJs have gone on to be DJs elsewhere, including having some success in New Orleans and North Carolina and a number of other places. So they were at the forefront. So I remember hearing like Sugar Hill Gang and a number of other folks before anybody knew who they were.
Nice. And
Kudos to Mr. and Mrs. Lee for doing that.
yeah, absolutely, because that's also part of the stream that you got to have. You can make the music, where you gonna play it?
Right.
It's very important. It caused James Brown at the time, he owned radio station for that very reason.
Yep.
So now I don't have to worry about anybody dictating what I'm gonna play because I own the station.
Right.
So that's very important because there's plenty of funk artists doing stuff, and like you said, the brother that has the station, you gotta have somewhere for people to be able to hear it.
Right.
You have to. That's all part of it.
Hey, and ironically,
that's why a lot of times, for those of you who don't know, Kevin is like my concierge. So when I was starting to really reboot 2.0 Nappy Funk Army, I used to talk to Kevin. I used to ask him, I said, well, I know P-Funk Radio. I said, but I got to write music make music that can fit that.
Fit.
Because a
Right.
lot of people's like, oh, why ain't you doing this and that? I said, listen, you don't understand. I'm trying to target P-Funk radio specifically. I said, because
Right.
that's
Right.
where the bulk of that audience, that
Mhm.
demographic is. And I
Right.
said, once I establish a few in there, then I can do other stuff. But
Right.
United We Stand is a perfect example of how I took what you and Jeff did. I had that in the back of my head, and then I mixed
Mhm.
it with what we did here. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be perfect. I listened to how it would fit in, and it's funny you say that you were overseas and they just wanted to hear you play your music, you
Yeah.
know. And that's what I think we need to get back to over here. Just please, promoters, club owners, whoever, take a chance on something different. We will not let you down. I promise you, you will get a better show than you ever going to get if you spend thousands and thousands and millions of dollars. Just spend
No,
thousands. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
But
no.
but
And
Zach,
Zach,
but you. I'm
Zach,
sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
yeah, Zach, ironically, what you're saying is a very real struggle and it's been going on for a while. And I'm sure that even Kevin can relate to it as well, because I definitely agree with him that y'all give a masterful performance and it is a performance that everybody should see. I've seen it a number of times, both at festivals and at clubs and a number of other places. So if you've not seen a Nappy Head Funk Army show, then definitely go see one. But I do remember that when we did a show, and this was back in the 70s, that was going to feature some local artists that were there in our area of Warren County, but it was also going to feature Cameo and the Barcades. And unfortunately, there is this mentality that people have that they don't always have faith and believe. So even though we had a successful radio station, there were a number of folks that did not show up because they were like, Cameo's not coming to Warren County. There's no way that they're coming to this town and everything. But we had paid the money just like any other promoter, and they were actually there, but they performed unfortunately in front of a small audience. But those of us that got to see the show got to see a great show with a number of artists. I know Cameo was there. I think the Barcades were there and a couple of others as well. But there was people that were there thinking, there's no way they're coming to this small community, this small town and everything. And unfortunately, that was almost 50 years ago, but we still got that kind of mentality that
Right.
people have now.
Right. And Zach, I would have to say, like, I don't know. I might have to say that India might be the one place that I haven't heard anybody going to that I know, other than somebody like the Stones or something. So I don't know how that goes. But I would have to say to you that much like Hendrix had to do, don't frown on going to Europe first to launch that. Because what you need to be is in a place that people appreciate what you do.
But
So, and I would have to say, as much time as I spent over there, Europe is definitely that spot. Germany, especially Germany,
Yeah.
that they would love to have you there. You know what I'm saying? I know Mark's in the blues. There's a blues artist that I used to when I was working down in the village in New York, Papa Chubby. You remember him?
yep,
Zach?
I do.
Always overseas.
Yep.
Always overseas. So I mean, the jazz cats, they were making a living overseas. They wasn't making it here. All them bebop dudes,
Yeah.
if they wasn't living there, they was going. That's where the bulk of their work was over there. You know, and this is since the wartime
Yep.
that was going on. So, Amsterdam, places like that, they're more open to the music. So, to have a band coming from the States that's playing funk, you know, I kind of think you need to look into those promoters there to bring you over. I know what's the name just went to the Netherlands. They there now.
Yeah.
I think 24/7 Spies. I think they're there right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
saw
how many
that.
places they do here.
Yeah.
Right.
And see. Yep. Yep.
I
I
mean,
was gonna say you're absolutely
but the
right
guy lives
because,
overseas.
it just wants to be appreciated.
Gotta go where you appreciate it. And
we got a couple of comments.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I see what's name's right, and I love Germany. Yeah, so do I. And again,
Yeah, I was gonna say we got a
because-
couple of comments that I was gonna read.
Go ahead.
George says he loves Germany. And a shout out to Ron. How you doing, Ron? What's up, bro? Thank you for tuning in. For those of you just watching, we're hanging out in Funk from the Front Seat. We're sitting here kicking it with our guy, Kevin Harrington, KHX Experiment, and his new apparel, his clothing line. I'm going to peep that again, so y'all can check this out. And go to his link tree at the bottom, which is linked up to everything that this brother does,
Yeah,
including,
to me,
he
that's the
worked
best
on
way
my
because you
past
can
projects.
find everything there. I think Linktree to me is
Yeah.
still the best because once you go there, you see everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
think that's great. But I think that's the thing, Zach, is for the funk is to get into those spots over there first and come over. And at one time, that's the way a lot of artists had to do it. If Jimmy had to do it.
Mhm.
He coming right out of Seattle, and people here didn't recognize the genius. Goes
Right.
over there, and they couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Hey, Zach, and definitely even Kevin and everything. I was helping with a friend on a conference. It was actually a social work conference and everything, but they were talking about the power of talks and all along those lines. I was wondering, even though music is where we are at and music lane is very important, I was wondering, because Kevin, you do so much and you do so much cross promotion. Have you ever thought about doing a TEDx talk and everything along those lines? Because definitely there are people that are making money off of those, and apparently they're free to do, but you can make some revenue in terms of cross promotions. And I was wondering if you've ever considered that.
I'm not even familiar with that. What is that one?
Yeah, TEDx talks are like you give a talk on something that you have a passion about, and then they help you put it out there. And it's another form of marketing. You can actually look them
Wow.
up. There are a number of famous
Okay.
folks that have given them. Everybody from, like I think Oprah's even done some TEDx talks to people that are in different lanes. So there have been TEDx talks around music, around the epistemology of music, and all along those lines. So definitely it could even be Zach could do one on funk music and all in
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Anything can help. I guess you also have to research the market of Zach. Here's another issue I think that's a problem is I guess you have to try to recruit, and that's probably easy to do with musicians, the younger mindset to listen to what we do. Again, overseas, they're more open to that than they are here. Not to say that there's not kids here that will do it, but over there, they be wanting to soak it up.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, you get set up to actually go and go into the schools because their thing is we want to see the originators. We want to talk to somebody, on that level doing it and seeing it done. So any promotion helps, but sometimes you have to be promoting on something that people are interested in what you're talking about though. And again, back to my original thing was I think with the technology, people that's gotten older in our age, they tend not to want to do that. And I think that's a problem too. When no sooner you hear somebody talking about, oh man, I don't even know how to do this on my phone. That's an issue. That's
Right.
an issue because you still can't find some record stores, but it's like you're gonna have to buy your music like this, even
Right.
if you're gonna order a CD. If I'm selling physical CDs, you got to know how to get online and order it.
Right.
So
It's true.
That doesn't help.
Because Zach, what's that thing that everybody's always asking you for? It's like a digital download. That's what I was looking for. Because everybody's
Well,
always
no,
looking
but
for
I
those.
have that. See, that's what I did. I have it on the jacket. I have the square, right? You could take the picture, whatever that
You got
little
the QR
code
code.
thing.
The
Yeah,
QR code,
right. But I tell older people that, right, our age, and they're like, I don't even know how to do that. And I was like,
Right.
yo, you use your phone. They're
Right.
like, they have no idea. You're right.
Right.
They have
You gotta
no
have
idea,
the app
bro.
for that. Right. You gotta have the app for that. Yeah. And so I thought about that. I'm like, wow. So people that really, again, the funk heads from our generation is like, if y'all not up on technology though, that's an issue. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Cause like I
It
said,
is. We
you
have some
can't go
great
to Tower
comments,
Records
George,
no
the
more.
Funk Convention. There is no more record. There are, but the young people shop
but,
there now. It's nostalgic.
Right.
Yep. It's
But
nostalgic, man.
It's not where there was record stores in your neighborhood back in the day,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's A lot of that
See,
has to
and
do
I
with
think
it.
these young kids, and you guys can comment on this. I think they're missing something because the whole adventure of hearing a song for the first time on the radio, and then knowing you had to wait all week during school, but you could go take your 75 cents or whatever on Saturday after you finished your chores to go buy that 45, and then come home, call your friends up, you ride your bike. Hey, I got it. They all come over, you put it on, and you hear that, and then you listen. There was something about that.
So remember now, how we listen to music was before video games. That's how these kids play video games. How we used to listen to music.
Yeah.
Like you said, all their friends come over and everybody's in front of that screen playing games. To where before it was come over, I just bought the new such and such record or the what's the name album. Come over, you might be the only one in the neighborhood that got it at the time.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so there's gonna be a bunch of people over. When you finish reading the album cover, let me read it. That was the thing.
Right.
Kevin, do you remember the lunchbox record player? Because I remember that. It was the one that looked like a lunchbox, but it was actually the small record player that was in there as well and everything.
Yep. Close and play. I don't know if you remember they used to put records on the back of cereal boxes.
Totally. The yellow, the honeycombs, and the Archies.
Right,
the Archies.
Yep.
Jackson 5, ABC.
The monkeys, yeah. Right. And
the
so
monkeys.
Again, right. So again, look at the marketing though. That still was all marketing to us.
Or the cars
the
that
monkeys.
had the track.
Huh?
They had one of the baddest opening themes. Here we come, walking down the street.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
The
We were so
monkeys.
exposed to music in every possible way. Like the
the
theme songs were some of the greatest recorded stuff. The theme songs, like you remember to this day, because they were great songs.
Yes. Yep. That's right.
Courtship of Eddie's Father. I used to love that song.
Yes.
You walk around the house singing that.
Yep. Barry Manilow was writing a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
Quincy Jones and all of them, they was all writing that stuff, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great song, Courtship of Eddie's Father. That's so funny.
Yeah. Everything was so music influenced. And again, we were around when the first video games came out.
Yep.
I knew a couple of people had Atari. I believe Atari was like $500-$600 when it came out.
Yeah.
Just to see some blips going across the screen.
That's right. I was talking to a young lady the other day, and we was talking about baby boomers and Gen Z and Gen X and all this, right? And she's a millennial, and she brought up something that was very interesting. She said, I think she was like early 30s. She said her generation was the last generation before technology. Like she remembers not having video games and computers and all this other stuff, but then she was also part of the new world technology. And I was telling her about our generation. We're like post-baby boomers, you and I, right? But we've lived through it all and still seen it. And are still here, being part of it. And I give you a lot of props for that, man, because, it's not easy to navigate when we have all of this new stuff behind us, like the artwork behind the drop right here on the set, right? For instance, right? That technology, Diego and I did that with AI.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All we had to do was something that could take great artists to do. And George is making a flag on the funk for me, so I appreciate that, George.
Right.
But we had to get that out in a hurry. We just typed in what we wanted. AI as far as dealing with the music.
Right. I didn't hear the question. You froze for a minute for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think about AI and its place in the music industry?
Well, I mean, nothing we could do about it. I look at it as that's technology. You remember when the drum machine came out, everybody thought that was it for us. Yeah. Oh Lord, drum machine. Everybody, they ain't gonna hire drummers no more. was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. I said, but I tell you what I am going to do. I'm gonna learn how to use it. Like you said,
Yeah,
it's a tool.
exactly.
There may be
Yes.
somebody go, I'm
Yep.
looking for a drum program. I don't want a real drummer. Fine, I could do that too. I mean, that's what it is. So AI is a tool. Of course, there's gonna be some people that just use it and because they don't want to think, but you know, that's okay. But right now, I got software that does background vocals, all AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
All AI. You got mastering now. The AI is cutting down on the time. Now I was like,
Yeah.
if you think that a mastering engineer is not going to use that, then you're crazy.
That's right. That's right.
Because
That's right.
it's basically like he said, if it could cut my time down, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's a tool. So there's software that when I play a vocal track, I put AI on it, it will add compression on its own.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
According to what is you know, it'll listen to the vocal track and go by that. In other words, that's a starting point. You might go, it's not enough for me. Oh, it's a little too much. But it's a starting point. So what does that do? That helps you cut down on the whole mixing time.
That's
when
right.
you got something like that assisting you, you know, with that
Yep.
kind of thing. So I mean, that's what AI is doing. It's like you said, it's a tool, and you should use it to you know, assist you in what you're doing. And not necessarily going to take the place of, but okay, so as a writer, right? So you're at the house and you're writing, and you need some female background singers. Okay, I got to call such and such, see when she can come over and all that kind of stuff, right? Use the AI to get your track though, so you can hear what it sounds like. Am I saying that? And I was like, no, I want what's the name's voice. I want her voice, but I could use the AI to know how this is going to sound. That if this arrangement even works, I ain't got to wait for the person to come. I can go, okay, I don't like that arrangement. I can keep changing it. Or if you're trying to send a tune to a person, you can't wait for, you know how scheduling is. You can't wait, or you just don't have the money. I'm gonna use AI, send that tune out to that person. Now they can do what they want. They just need to hear what the song sound like. They may go, oh yeah, I got my own background singers. Fine, I don't care. I needed you to hear what the song sound like.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, again, use AI for what it's used for. You know,
I think that's you made some very. Oh, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people panicking that's going to take the place of, but that's always happened. Technology has always knocked out some jobs. That's a given.
Yep.
You know, that goes without saying. There's plenty of things that became obsolete because of technology. So you know, you find something else.
That's right.
And there's going to be some people that is going to knock out. We see it now. Like you said, I don't eat that poison at Mickey D's. So, but they have a fully automated McDonald's. Nothing but computers running the place. Now, if I ate McDonald's, I don't want to eat that because now if my fries is cold, I ain't got nobody that's going to give me any more. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody to talk to.
See, that's the issue I have. Well, you said something very important from a producer and being an engineer and mastering engineer, and we're hanging out with Kevin Harrington.
Exactly, and you can't get no free food.
Right, that's right. That's right. There's no senior discount anymore.
Yo, that and your homeboy ain't working there, so ain't gonna be no extra burger in there.
Nope. Can't get that extra sweet tea.
Right.
The refill gone.
Exactly.
You know, but you said something interesting from a working point of view of in the studio and recording about the time that it saves now. And that I think is overlooked when it comes to AI, because you know it just saves a lot of time, and it also gives you a different perspective. Like this artwork, I was thinking about it, but I wouldn't have been able to get that like within 20 minutes. Right, I would have had to get it to George, and I'd be like, okay, George, this is what I want. And then he's going to, do it for me, right? Like this beautiful artwork back here is all DeFunco Vinci and Curtis Wilcox, all stuff, and Pat Dioria. Love you, Miss Pat. So I'm kind of happy about it, but it freaked me out a little bit when I typed in write a funk song and it wrote a funk song. That freaked me out a little bit because I was like, yeah, okay, I
but
gotta
you know
I
what?
gotta reevaluate.
But you know what? This is where you make your stuff exclusive. This is where you go, okay, because AI is going to be generic.
Right.
AI is taken from a data source of music. So it's just taken from stuff that's in its database. So this is where you got to be different. And eventually it's going to grab your stuff too.
Yeah.
You know, but that's all that it is. It's from a database. So again, if it wasn't the human element, it can't work. It generates nothing on its own. It's taking and putting together.
Right. That's right. I heard Dr. Grossi, the black guy, the astrophysics, he said the same thing.
Yeah,
he said,
it's like sampling.
Yeah, right. He said if you want to make real AI, you can't have a cap.
It's just like sampling. You can't sample nothing if somebody didn't go in the studio and make the music. They ain't put them sounds together.
That's right.
So you know, sampling to me was always they come up with great ideas. To me, it's rearranging.
Yeah.
But you're not creating a natural. You didn't create the source. So therefore, if you don't have the source, there would be no sampling. It's got to be a source, and that means somebody had to go in the studio or play something live, put this together, and then you sample it and chopped it up the way you wanted to.
Yep, that's right.
You know, because two turntables can't play nothing if a record ain't on it.
That's right. Do you think we'll ever get back to the day where, I mean, we're in technology and we're talking a lot about technology right now in the music game or whatever, but just get back to the days of, okay, the Woodstock era. Because, and you and I have been talking about this funk stock thing, and I saw somebody actually did a festival and they call it funk stock or something. So I saw they trying to do it, but the carefree days of when a band could just go be a band and play music and everybody digs it. I know we can do it overseas, but do you think this country will ever truly get back to that?
I'm going to say it's going to be pockets. I'm not going to say it's going to be the country. Now, and I think that with a lot of stuff, it's going to be pockets. Again, you're going to have to find people that's on the same wavelength, on the same frequency for that. It's not, to me, it's not going to be a countrywide thing. Well, I ain't going to say it's going to be countrywide, but again, it's going to be the coming together of funkheads to do that. People who want to see that, people who want that to happen. And you know, for the most part, it's about financing. Point blank, it's about financing. So if you find a venture capital group that realize they can make some money, then they'll do it. They don't really care what the cause is. Their thing is, are we gonna make money from this? Or if you found some older investors that go, yeah, that's my stuff. That's what I like. You know what I'm saying? Boom. There you go. That's more of what you would want. Somebody who actually like, yeah, I love this. I didn't know anybody was trying to do this.
Yeah. That's the search right there for you funkheads out there. Don't you worry, because we're going to continue to search and seek it out and keep making this music. Today was like, my God, we chopped it up for a minute, Mr. Kevin Harrington. I'm going to show another one of your videos before we get out of here, but I'm also going to give you the last word on the big screen as well, because and then we would, say our goodbyes to everybody. Yeah, man, like you drop so much knowledge and so much wisdom every time you do this show, and it's just a blessing, man, to even be able to see you face to face. I just love your energy and your vibe.
I miss our talks, man. We far in between our talks.
Yeah, you're right. and I'll make more time, but I've just been so busy with this move.
Yeah, I get it, man.
But I do miss talking to you, man.
I understand. I'm trying to come. Man. I definitely want to try to come through there, man, this holiday season.
Okay.
I want to make that happen. Because like I said,
we'll definitely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I remember you had mentioned that. And your brother's here, right?
Mm-hmm. Brother, father.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Him and I stay in touch on Facebook. We be back and forth at it.
Yep. I just did him on my podcast. I haven't it won't be out till Friday because my brother was on the drum line when he was in high school. And I missed all of that because he moved to North Carolina. My father moved back to North Carolina, so by that time I was 18 and out the house, and he had to go. So his whole time in the drum line, I missed all of it.
Oh man,
so it was a good conversation because he was writing parts for the bass drums. I was like, get out of here, because he was just starting to play when he left.
Yeah.
Then he went.
And he could read music. You said if he was
right. And then he wanted to be an MC by the time he left New York. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know the drum thing was still alive. That's where his name Chill comes from.
That's a good story. Yep. We'll talk about that. That's a good one, man. I'm gonna hit him up and chat him up and see what's up with that. You left the band to be out front. You forego the drums, the sacred.
Yeah, he wanted to be an MC, man. But it was a great interview, man. I learned so much. Again, him to be my brother, and I didn't know all of that. So
right.
It was good.
Yo, that's dope, man. Let's check this out. Y'all hang out for a minute, man. We gonna watch another one of these. We're hanging out with my guy.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Oh man. man. George Devon
Yeah.
Vinci, of course, you know, and your music and your artistry and your gift to this planet
George.
is truly amazing. And you know, I just love you to death, man. I'm gonna give you the full
Appreciate it,
play,
man.
man.
I got to shout out Roy Richardson Jr. on sax and his wife who actually shot the video, and my man Fernando over at New City Edits who edited that video, man. He does all of them. Edits everything for me. So yeah, just want to shout them out.
We gotta try to get him and his wife to come on so we can chat up, because you know I still got stuff that I gotta shoot, like 2 videos once I get the budget for United We Stand and Chronicon Barrier Flag on the Funk. So those things are in the works. Plus I'm gonna be doing my newest project with this brother. You know, Funketeers Get Lit. So y'all stay tuned for that. Oh yeah, that's a given. That's a given, man. I was supposed to go in last Sunday and start everything, but I'm just gonna be sending you bass and drums and let you pee on it, you know, and do what you do, man. But it's been
looking forward to, man. Cause I want to send something too. I just want to stay in the zone that y'all in. So
yeah. And you naturally will just fall into it. I already know, because my mind has already planted that seeds in my head of like, okay, who's gonna just do what. You know, because my goal is to just try to get, you know, like Jeff has played on stuff, Al, I got him on stuff, and you know, Andy and John and all you guys, man, is just to continue to make music. We may not be playing live as much as we want together, but we can still continue to make music, and that goes for every person out there. Continue, do your best, whatever. You know,
you still got to make the music, because like I said, like your stuff always has a message to it.
Yeah,
you know, which is good. And like we spoke about earlier, I still say that's the key, that you always put in your lyrics about what's going on, you know, because a song will spread faster than anything.
Yeah,
definitely. People always listen to some music before they listen to some speeches.
That's right. That's why. Did you ever see the Shock G interview where he talked about the different rappers' style? Where he said Tupac was more like Martin, where he said, "Oh, wake up in the morning and get," you know, and he broke it down. Shock G was very intelligent. For y'all don't know, go back and check this brother out. Classical pianist, all this stuff. Shock G was amazing, brother. I go back and listen to every single interview I can of him when he wasn't doing the Humpty thing, and he said. DMX was more like Malcolm X, like get up, you know. So he broke it down how all these rappers just like civil rights leaders.
This is why Chuck D was my favorite when it came to that, when it came to consciousness, because you couldn't do nothing but listen to him.
Yeah, he's a
no way you was ignoring him.
Yep.
You know, and I thought the music was perfect background for what he was doing. To the point it was almost chaotic.
Yes.
But he was on top of it, spitting all that knowledge, man. You know, that Welcome to the Terror Dome.
And see, Terminator X.
Yeah.
Mine too. I listen to that all the time. Fear of a Black Planet. You know, one of my favorite CDs. Yep. And Terminator X, for y'all that don't know, very underrated. Because he was mixing in so much stuff under there to make it sound chaotic and city-ish. It put you. And then Chuck preaching on top of it.
Right. And yet, and again, to go back, we talking about, it still was grooving. That was the thing. With all of that going on, there still was that groove.
Yep.
Crazy. Just crazy. Like I said, it'd be so hyped. There's no way you couldn't listen to that. It's like, yo, what I gotta listen to what this brother's telling me. This, you know, it's I love Public Enemy, man.
Me too. I and see that's why I was glad when they came back through recently. I didn't see them, but I was glad they went back out. You know, I think they were with Redman and maybe Method Man, right? They went with Method Man.
Yeah, I forgot what the tour is that they were on. They did this iHeart Radio thing, which I was very surprised.
They did because but you know what it was? See, I think it was certain states, because down here. They brought it through with LL Cool J.
Got you. Yeah, my brother actually went to that show.
He did it at the PNC Arena, But then, see, Chuck had his own tour, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Public Enemy, they did their own thing because I saw them by themselves. I
Yeah.
was
And
watching some on
they
YouTube.
used a live band because I knew the drummer, Mike Fred, out of the
Yes.
Bronx. They used a live band because
Yes.
they it's interesting that a lot of people that listen to rock liked Public Enemy again because of that energy.
Yeah.
Which is why you remember when they did the remake of Bring the Noise with Anthrax, I think.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yep.
Just for that reason, like the energy of their stuff. So when they used to be over in Europe, all you would see is young people there jumping around, but the rock heads, because they love their energy of Public Enemy, you know.
Yep, that's right. And
So
you know what? I know what it was. He went out with Rage Against the Machine. It was Rage Against the Machine.
Yep, that's what it
He
was.
was on stage with he was on stage with them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they was like
they loved PE.
oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I like
You
Rage
know,
Against the Machine too, though. I dug their
I love
stuff
them.
because
I
of,
love them.
what they talked about too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rage was ahead of their thought process. To me, the Chili Peppers was doing it, but Rage was the ones that was politically conscious in the gutter with it. You know, that's what, because both of those groups are paralleling. But when I heard what Rage was doing, I was like, man.
Yeah. And then I also enjoyed the music too. You know what I'm saying? Like just the hard hitting the music was.
Yeah. Perfect timing for it, you know. And see, that's the consciousness in the music that you and I was just talking about.
Right, exactly. Right. Yep. And that never needs to go away.
Nope.
Never needs to go away because there's enough distractions that it has to be that there. It has to be, because people always got to have an alternative to what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just have the one thing happening and everybody listening to that. It always has to be, you know, where they can turn to, because everybody, you know, as kids get older, their taste starts changing. Yeah. And they'll go, yeah, I got to listen to something with more substance now, you know, as their mental starts to change, they're realizing like, oh, I'm missing something. Like you said, they're missing something. And sometimes maturity will bring that.
Yeah.
And then they get turned on to like, wow, you know, they've been out here a long time, but for the first time I listened to them.
Yeah. Yep.
Not I heard them. No, I listened to them.
Yep. I remember thinking back in the day when the Isley Brothers first came out with Fight the Power.
Fight the Power.
Right? Yep. And I remember my father, he always was listening to music in the living room, but he would just let me get into it. But every now and then, if he heard something he thought was dope, he'd poke his head in, like Larry Graham. When he heard that, he's like, "What is that?" You know. So when I was playing that song and it got to the cursing part, and you know, and it was on the record, but the radio had bleeped it out. My father had this interesting look on his face, like he knew things was changing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was no more of the Sam Cooke, like that old change gonna come. It was like, oh, these young people are putting it in this stuff. And he was with that. He was like, yo, I like that song, Fight the Powers That Be, because he listened to the words, you know. And I'll never forget it. He was like, yeah, keep playing that. You know.
Right.
And see, I think that's the whole purpose of today's show, to tie a knot on this, is keep doing what y'all are doing.
Right. Absolutely.
Keep being independent. Keep doing your own brand. I'm going to give you the last word, brother, and then we're going to get out of here. But before I do, I got to shout out P-Funk Radio, Bootsy and Patty, of course, Brenda up in Ohio, I love you, HJ Entertainment, Kane and Jams, of course, you know, Tony Cam and the Funk All-Stars. I'll see you New Year's Eve, Napier Funk Army. I'll see y'all next Saturday night over here at Kings and Raleigh. If you're down, come down. We're going to be pumping it up with Tumbao and Allure Dash. Oak City Music Collective, my management company down here, Diego, I love you. Afterglow 92416, Q&A Entertainment, Brooke Cladgett, my funk angel. It was so good to see you at the Funketeers Ball. Patricia Diori, Aquarius Rising Art, Curtis Wilcox, Georgia Funkavinci, love you. Dr. Brookenstein, I know you're going to be around somewhere. Love you. Thank you for taking care of the website. DJ Cocolino, Italy. Elizabeth in Ireland. And Soul Sister Germany, thank you all for spinning my stuff. I appreciate you. David Webb, Funk Chronicles, I love you. YouTube tried to shut us down, but I'm going to still play your music on my show. They can't stop it. You know, YouTube, man. Maybe I got permission from the brother, and they shut out one of my channels, just so y'all know. 9 on the Grind got shut down for a week I got slapped just for
Wow.
playing music.
Wow.
And I have permission. I have permission.
Censorship.
Go figure, right? Well,
Right.
y'all check this out before we get out of here, man. I want
Hey,
y'all
this
to
is
see
Jen
something
Van
else.
Putten, writer of Code and Prose. You are watching Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Roberson. Tune in every Saturday at noon for excellent and important conversation.
Hey,
Thank you, Jen. Appreciate you. Hold on.
hey, it's Chrissy Key Rollins here with Holistic Restoration, inviting you to check out Zach Robinson with Funk in the Front Seat. He drops new episodes every Saturday at noon on the East Coast time, and replays are posted for whenever you miss a live stream. You can find him on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube, and get ready for the funk because he brings it every week, along with hot topics, amazing guests, and great conversations. Again, that's Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Go check him out.
Hey fam, what's goody good? What's really good? My name is Jeff Roberson from the gospel group called Jeff Roberson and New Life. And I'm coming to you from the town that we had to name it twice. It's so nice. New York, New York. And I'm bringing you some news about my brother from another mother, Brother Zach, who's bringing you his hot new show called Funk from the Front Seat. Listen, he's bringing you funk from the vault, from the past, from the present, and into the future. He's got that music that makes the hair on the back of your neck rise up. He's bringing you funk all the way down to your toes. This is that funk that makes you really want to groove. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial as he brings you funk from the front seat. Listen, let's go.
Jeff.
That for you. I knew you would like that.
yes.
See? That's the preacher. Yo, he promoting. Thank you, Jeff. I love you, bro. Appreciate it.
Hey, this is Keith Jackson with P-Funk Radio, inviting you to check out my brother Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat. Saturdays, 12 noon on the East Coast and 9 a.m. on the West Coast. It all happens on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube. Great guest, great conversation each and every Saturday. That's Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Robinson on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Check him out.
Yes. Yeah, I gotta do one, man. I know you're asking me, I forgot all about it.
Yeah, that's okay. I know you're busy, bro. When you get it, tell me, please. I love them, man. George the Funk Events, you got the last local comment. Everybody that tuned in today on the chat line, appreciate you, man. Our music is our history, and you're absolutely right about that. That's why, brother, you keep making that art. Kevin and I go keep making that art. We want everybody keep doing your art, man.
Yes, yes, bro. Sir. George is one person that ain't got to worry about AI is George.
That's right. That's right. Right. Thank God we got him because he's doing a flag on the phone for me. So thank God. Thank you, George. Right. Love you, man. Yo, Kev, I'm gonna give you the last word, man, and then we're gonna get out.
All right. Hey, Zach, thanks for having me on, man. It was a great show. I just want to say for those of that's out there doing their thing, it's a grind. You got to keep doing it. And prayer helps, but you got to put the work in. So, keep doing your thing, stay positive, and it'll all work out. God bless.
Yo, brother, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for riding with us in the front seat today. It's always a pleasure, and you continue your great work, your spirituality, and your mere knowledge of what's happening around you in the world, and putting that good, peaceful vibe out is what the world needs. So y'all follow this brother on his link tree. It's at the bottom of the screen. Scroll down and check it out, and support the brother. Buy a shirt. Buy a scarf, buy a hat, because that's what we have to do. It's all about that. We get ready to get out of here. And for those of you that are going to tune in next week, I don't know who's going to. That's right. You see it.
Everybody, support indie artists.
Support them. Yep. Got to, because we're the ones that's left. There's nobody else left. So We're the last line of defense. Trust me. You know, you don't want us to break down. You gotta continue to do and make sure that you know, you support everybody out there that has manifested a thought and made it come true. And that's what God gives us. You know, man is a powerful creature. So God gives us that gift. So let's just use it for good. You know, the earth is such a beautiful place and can be, but just keep the creator in mind. Like Boo said, the power to one. Put God first. Everything else will be good. Everything else will be good, man. Yep. All right, brother. Love you, man.
Hey, yo, man, what time is it? You know what time it is, man. 2 a.m.? Yeah, man. Man, you know what? What's that? It's 8:46, bro.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, you know what time that is.
Yeah, man.
Nappy head.
Yo.
Funk Army.
What's up?
Stand up. Get in line, y'all.
Yo, go drop that beat.
You know what we gotta do.
Yeah, man.
We bringing this funk just for you. Repeat after me. Say, you don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best,
You don't.
just gotta outlast the rest.
No, you don't.
You don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until